Okay, so now we can start. So I'll just give you a brief what today we are going to perform. Okay, so basically we are going to build one HS system where we'll be having three Linux servers. In one Linux server, we will be having our primary database. In the second Linux server, we'll be having our standby database, and the third server where we are going to install a observer. So that is that observer server. Basically, it will monitor the server 1 and my server 2. Okay, and if one of if primary anytime goes down because of any reason, and it gets hung or server get crashed or something, whatever it happens, the third server observer will take a decision to change the role. um, Basically it will change the standby into primary, and the connections, it will be transferred from the first server, my server 1, to my server 2. So right now this red color one, okay, this is my primary server where I have a database called PRD. Okay, this is ASM based, and then this is my server 2 where I just installed only ASM, so we don't have any database here. I installed the DB binaries, but I did not created any database in the second server. The third server which I have, which is in green color, okay, so this server I have installed with the minimum configuration. Okay, so that's why when you go to here, my server 3, I don't have any GUI. Okay, it's I installed it without GUI, so that it will occupy very less space in my laptop. So in third server, basically what I did is I installed uh, binaries, database binary. Okay, so in Oracle, sorry, in my server 3, we need DB binary. Okay, so whether it is a database binary or ASM binary or Oracle client, doesn't matter, because in all three we have this DGMGR utility, which will be used for observer, which will be acting as an observer in this server. Okay, so I preferred Oracle client and installed here Oracle client. I installed Oracle client version 12.102, which matches with my database version. I installed Oracle client because it was of minimum size compared to ASM binary and DB binary, but you can use any binaries because we just need DGMGR utility from there. And the steps how I installed it, I have already posted, in our group. There is a document which is having complete step how to install this. Basically nothing, you just have to fill one configuration, something install.rsp file with all the requirements, and then you trigger one command and it will install your binary in the server. Now next, so building the HS system will be done in 3 steps actually. So first step will be creating a normal physical standby. Second step is to for setting up HA. Okay, for a HA setup, what are the things you will have to enable or set few parameters, so those will be done. And the last step is setting up the observer server, that is my server 3. Okay, and then we'll also as an application, right, as an application will be using SQL developer. So using HA connection string will connect to the system from SQL developer to database, and will execute few queries. Then last step is to testing the failure scenarios and rolling maintenance. I'll explain. Basically we'll just do one switchover and one failover scenario, and rest all I'll just explain. It's almost same. So to just give an overview, I have my server 1 as a primary database server, and the DB running here is PRD. In my server 2, I'm going to create another database called PRD DG. I'll clone this as a standby using duplicate command. Then in third server, observer server, we will create a wallet. We'll store the wallet info, connect user information, user credentials of both PRD and PRD DG, so that third server can connect to this two database and monitor them. So which one is primary and which one is standby. I'll try to do as quick as possible. Okay. So to start with, yeah, I have also prepared in this how to perform this all step. Like basically I pasted the commands also, like what are the commands we needed to perform all these steps. So I'll start with the creating a physical standby. So creating a physical standby is first step is, uh, to setting up a static connectivity between PRD and PRD-DG. I mean, my server 1 and my server 2. So what I will do is in primary, I'll copy this. I'll add an entry of PRD and PRD-DG. Okay, so PRD will be in my server 1 and PRD-DG will be in my server 2. So these two entry I'm gonna add it to both the servers of TNS names. I'll go to Oracle Home, Network, Admin, TNS names Totora. Here we have already PRD, so I'll just add PRD-DG. Then same thing I'm gonna do it in standby. / Oracle PRD 12102 / network / admin. So I don't have anything here. I'll just add it. Including. Copy this, come here, paste it, and come out. So next step, creating and copying wallet password file to PRDDG. Okay, password file to from PRD to PRDDG. Next thing is here I'm using listener grid. Okay, so if you run -DNS, so I'm using grid listener here. Let me check if I have already password file created in DBS location in primary database. I have this password file which I am going to copy it to the DBS location of other server PRD12102/DBS. Okay, we'll use SCP command to transfer this. Hit enter and it's done. So we got this PRDDG here. We'll test this TNS ping, whether TNS ping is working fine or not from both ends. So it's pinging to its own database in the same server, and it is also pinging to the PRDDG in the other server, the entry which we have added here. Both will try it from the standby to primary as well. And it says TNS ping command not found. Basically, I don't have any entries in Aura tab for that. So let me add it. Say PRDDG instance name, and the Oracle home will be PRD/12102 colon. I will save it. Now I'll set the environment to PRDDG. And from here, I will try this thing. Okay, it's pinging to PRD, and it will ping to himself also. So now connectivity is fine. I copied the wallet, password file from primary to standby, which means we'll be able to connect to each other. Okay, so let's try connecting from my server 2 to my server 1 to test whether we are able to connect. So I'll go connect slash no log connect sys slash oracle at the rate prd as sysdb. So basically I'm connecting from blue one to red one, and it is connected. Then I'll try to connect to the same server, and it says listener doesn't currently know the service requested. Okay, so this error it came because if you are trying to connect to a database which is not there here at all, right? So that's why you are getting error. So to work on this problem, what you can do, you can add a static entry in listener.ora, kind of static registration we have to do. Okay, and for that I'll be doing it here. This is the command to add a static registration in listener.ora. Okay, so if you see, it has two blocks. One it is having for PRD, and the second one it is for DGMGRL configuration. And this is for primary because SID here it is PRD. The same thing we'll have to add it in standby. So first I'll add it to standby and see if it is fixing this issue. So I'll go to standby here. Then I'll go to $oracle home admin. I don't have any listener.ora file here because I'm using grid listener. So I have to go to grid home first. So I'll go ASM. I'll set the environment to ASM, and then I will go to Oracle home network admin. The listener file. I will add an entry. So I'll add both the entries. Here. Then I'll set the environment to database. I don't know whether I have to restart the listener. So let's check this out. Connect. Now I will try this command, and still it's not. lsnrctl reload. Okay, so now this service PRDDG has been registered here. So hopefully we'll be able to connect. As no log, and this time okay, so this time I'm able to connect. The same thing I'll try it from from this thread from PRD to PRDDG, and let's see if we are able to connect. Yeah, we got connected. Let's add a static registration in PRD also, because when failover or switchover happens, right, the DB will go down, and once it goes down, uh, it should connect to it again, and the DB is down. If you wanted to connect, there should be a static registration. Okay, so I'll set the environment to ASM. I will go to network admin in grid home because I'm using grid listener. I'll go to listener.ora, and then I'll copy this, paste it, and save it. I'll restart my listener, and done. PRD and PRD underscore DGMGRL, both services got registered with the listener. Next step is to clone for creating a standby. So 1 second. Till here we are done. Now connectivity is fine. Next step is to clone PRD into PRD server. For that, I'll be using this command. Okay, so it says connect to a target database called PRD and connect to auxiliary database as PRDDG, and then duplicate the target. So duplicate the target database. You can execute this command in any of the servers. So basically, I'll go to the second node and I'll execute it here for cloning. I'll maximize it. This is my server 2 where I'm building a standby. I'll go to RMAN. I'll connect to my target. It's connected. I'll connect to the current system as auxiliary database, and it got connected, and it says it's not started. Yeah, before I start the cloning, right, I'll have to start the DB in no mount stage. So to start the DB in no mount stage, I'll have to start it with P file or SP file. I already copied P file from primary and I pasted it in this location. Okay. So I'm gonna create an SP file from here. So I'll say cat dollar home dbs init prd. In this location I'm gonna create it. I'll go to this and I'll say create sp file from P file, which I copied it from the primary, which is in location db from P file is equal to this P file, and it failed. It says failed to create this file because directory does not exist. And yeah, it's not there. So let me create it actually. And before that, I'll tell you one more thing. I have updated here, with PRDDG as a DB unique name. So next step is to let me create that directory and then I'll try rackenv asm. I'll set the environment to ASM. I'll go to ASM cmd, and basically it is trying to create it in plus data. This is cd data mkdir prddg. Have the same directory in FRA. I'll go back to the database. Now I will try to create this P file from SP file, and it got created. I'll start the DB in no mount stage before I go for cloning. I'll verify that control file name and the DB names are correct. Go to RMAN, connect to your target database. connect to your target database, connect to the auxiliary database, run this duplicate command for creating a database. So basically it will copy the entire database, clone the entire primary database into standby server as a standby database. Hit enter. So, and it failed. It says duplicate for standby is not allowed. To use no redo. Okay, then I'll remove it. Okay, so if you see here, even it is, if he is copying this password file, which I already copied it, so which means we don't have to manually copy that. It copied the password file, it restored the control file, now it is restoring the all the data files. Once this is done, what we have to do is we'll have to enable the remote archiving. So basically I'll set log archive desk 2. So which means, you know, whatever the archive logs which is getting created in a primary database, okay, it will create archive log in FRA location also, and as well as in this my server 2 location also, my server 2 FRA location. So parameter log archive desk. So we have n number of log archive destinations. So I will set the log archive desk 2 parameter. Let this complete. Okay, so we have successfully cloned. Now I can connect to the database. It's connected. I can check the role and all. What's the DB name, open mode, and database role from $V database. So it just cloned. Now there is no shipping of archive log and nothing is happening. Okay, so basically it's out of sync now. And the first one, the red one, is primary one. So you can see this is PRD as a primary, and this is PRD mounted as a physical standby. To ship the archives from primary to standby, there is a RFS process, okay, which you should see if RFS process is running, which means your archives are shipping here. Okay, now, so it won't ship until unless you will set the destination in the primary archive log list. If you see here, DB recovery file dest is set to FRA, which means if I'll do alter system switch log file, the archives will get created basically in all these archive destination. But whatever the value is set, you know, for example, log archive dest 1 is set and it says use the DB recovery file dest. So DB recovery file dest is FRA. So when you switch log file, it checks all these log destination, and if the value is set, it will go to that location and create archive log from online.log files. So basically now here we have log archive dest 1 set. So only in this server archive will get created, but I wanted that archive to ship here also. So what I will do is I'll set any of this log archive dest, and since one is set, I'll go for the second one, that is log archive dest 2, and I'll execute this command. So it says set the remote archive destination, okay, that is PRDDG, and these parameters, right, sync, affirm, delay is equal to 0, optional. You don't have to keep all for a normal standby, but when you configure DGMGL, right, so it will replace the log archive destination with this entire value. So that's why I'm setting this parameter. with 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 HA standard, and I'll hit enter, and it failed. It says DB unique name PRDDG is not in the data card configuration. Okay, so before going here, we'll have to set few parameters. For example, so parameter DG log archive config, something is there maybe. Okay, so this DG config here, another database is not mentioned, PRDDG. So basically it's telling that. So what I will do is I will set this. I have command for that too. And I don't know where it is. 1 second. Okay, I haven't pasted it. So let's set it. Alter system set equal to DG PRDDG, comma, second service will be PRD, and then close it, and that's all. Now next time when I'll try to set this parameter in primary, in the red one, it should work, and it did not work because I have spelled it wrong. So it is,
I need to change.
sorry,
Yeah, the primary one would be first, no?
yeah, this is the primary. The red one is the primary, right? So that's why I'm trying to set it here. Alter system set log archive des2. Oh, you mean here primary should be first, you are telling me?
Yeah,
No.
right. Okay.
No. It should. What is wrong here? RRDG I have given.
Link is incorrect.
Okay.
It should be P.
Yeah. PRD.
Then PRD.
DG. PRD. And then close this. And now we'll try to set this remote archive destination. Where is that? This should work. Okay, so now you have set the remote archive destination, right? So which means you have two destinations of archives. So one is dest2 and other one is dest1. Dest1 is the local archive destination, which is using your recovery file desk, that is FRA, and this will go to PRDDG, to this server. Now if you see, RFS process would come up. Okay, it did not come up yet. So maybe I have to enable the destination. Let me check. Log archive dest state 2, it is already enabled. What I will do, I'll disable it and try to enable it again. I will say defer and enable it back, and now let's see if it came. No luck yet.
Take standby file management.
Select.
Auto.
Yeah. Select message from $3 card status. And we have some error. Thread 1 PRDDG. Fall client is not in the data card configuration. Okay, so I will set this fall client and fall server. Client is the same server, same DB, and okay, fall client and fall server. How about now?
Different.
Fall client, fall server in standby as well. defer and enable. Okay, so now RFS has started, so which means the connectivity between primary and standby is established. So if I will switch log file here, it is gonna ship here. So if I type archive log list, I have current log sequence number as 30, and RFS shows the last sequence which is getting received is 30. If I switch alter system switch log file here, and if you check the RFS, it is handling 31, the next archive log sequence. So okay, shipping is done. Now once the archive log is started shipping to the standby, we have to apply it as well. So for applying this, you will have to start the MRP. To start the MRP in physical standby, you just copy this and run this command. This is alter database recover manage standby database disconnect from session. So basically whatever archive logs are coming here right in standby, it will start applying it. So if you see here, additional process is started, which is for applying this read log archive log files to the standby database. RFS just receives the archive log in the FRA location of standby, and MRP process is the one which actually applies them. So now at this moment I can say my primary is having log sequence number 31, and even my standby is applying log sequence number up to 30 is completed, and it's waiting for 31 to come here so that it can apply. So which means both are in sync now. So here we have completed the first part, building a physical standby. Now it comes for HA configuration. For HA configurations, we have, it is kind of pre-checks. You should have flashback enabled and force logging enabled. Flashback, if you have already worked on DataGuard, you might be doing in case if you wanted to reinstate your old standby, okay, old primary into a standby, you'll have to flashback it up to the last SCN where it became where failover or switchover happened, and then you convert it into physical standby. So that is why flashback is important to enable it, and this should be enabled in both the systems. Force logging is something when force logging is whatever you do in the primary, right, it will be captured in a log file, because we wanted all the changes made in the primary database to replicate it here. Even if a user uses no logging option, we have option called, if you're performing a huge task and if you use no logging, right, it is not going to log into the log file. So which means that data which you are changing in the primary with no logging option will not be captured into log file, and that will not that will not get archived, and it will not come to standby. So the data will mismatch here. So that is why these both things are important. I'll go straight away here to copy see that command, how to enable that. So basically it is alter database flashback on and there is alter database force logging. I'll copy this, I'll trigger it in primary, and it says flashback is already on, so that's fine. I'll copy this and hit here in primary, and it says both are already on. I'll go to standby and I'll do the same thing and see if it is already turned on. It says an incompatible media recovery is on. Since I already started the MRP, it will not allow me to enable the flashback, so I will stop the MRP. If you execute it here, now MRP is gone. You copy this and paste it here, flashback is on, and enable the force logging as well, and it says database already is force logging, so that's fine. Next thing is we'll have to add a standby log files in both primary and standby. First I'll execute this command in a primary to see how many standby online log files I have. It says online log files I have 1 2 3 groups of online log files, but I don't know the size. So I'll copy this and I'll paste it. It will show me the size of each log file. It says 50 MB. Okay, It's in bytes. If you divide it, you will get the 50 MB. Now I'm gonna add standby log files of same size, 50 MB. But here, if you see, I have only 3 online read log files, read log groups. But when I'm adding a standby log file, it should be n+1. So which means if you have 3 online read logs, then you have to you have to add 4 standby log files. It is recommended by Oracle. There are few scenarios where it needs. So yeah, I have added those 4 standby log files. Now I'll copy this command and see whether those are added. And you can see here, standby type is standby 4, 5, 6, 7. 4 groups are already added here. Same thing, I'm gonna do it in standby as well. Copy this, come here, paste it. Here also we have 1, 2, 3 online logs. So I'll create 4 standby log file group. 1, 2, 3, and 4. This thread one option. Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, means what's the use of these additional standby online logs? Means
Okay. Why we are adding? Because whenever your online read log files from primary it comes, right, but it is not directly applying it here. Once the archive log comes here, right, it is coming into actually what I can say in online or here in standby log files, and then it is getting applied.
Mm-hmm.
So that is why we are adding online standby log files. Now why we are adding in both? Because at this moment,
in scenarios for that.
yeah, at this moment this is primary and this is standby, but we are building a HA. So in next scenarios, when switchover or failover happens, this will become primary and we need standby log.
Yeah,
So that is why we are adding it here in both the systems.
Okay.
These settings are already done. Okay, now it's time for DGMGRL configuration. Okay, so to create any configuration file, first I'll see how many what are the parameters which is important to see. First is DG broker start. Okay, so once it is currently set to fall, which means a DG broker you cannot use it right now. And we have other 2 parameters related to DG broker is files. The configuration which you are going to create, basically you are going to tell DGMGRL which is primary and which is standby. Okay, so those information will get stored in this file. If you want to keep it in the current location, it's fine, or if you want to change it, you can change it. In our in my project, we are moving this from file system to plus data or something, so you can keep any name, any location, doesn't matter. So I'm gonna start this. I'll hit enter. I'll set it to true. Now DG broker is set to true here, which means I can access the DG broker. Same thing, I'm gonna trigger it here. Now I'll go to DGMGRL, connect sys/oracle. I'm connected. I'll say show how many configurations I have. So configuration verbose, and it says there is no configuration found here. So now we are going to add it. This part I have already done. Okay, if you see here, you might be aware of this first part, which is which is just a static registration of your local database. Okay, but if you see this part, right, I have added this additional for DGMGRL purpose.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so next is to creating a DGMGRL configurations, right? So basically we have only 2 commands. You have to add a database saying this is primary and add another database saying this is a standby. So first command I'll copy it, which says create configuration PRD. This is comment, create configuration this. Okay, where DB name is PRD and connection connect identifier is PRD. Copy this and hit enter here. So this is okay. It says log archive dest and parameter set for object to be added. Now what it is telling is I think it's telling why did you set that parameter. It is my job. So I'll go here, I'll say show parameter log archive dest2. I will reset this parameter, alter system set this to null. Now I'll copy this and hit enter and see. And it says I created configuration PRD primary database. Basically, I have added it to DGMGL. Now I'm gonna add PRDDG as a standby to DGMGL, and it is getting done. If you see the alert log here, right? When I'll enable the configuration, now show configuration. So we have configuration which is disabled, where I have added PRD saying it's primary, and I added a PRDDG saying as physical standby database. To enable the configuration, I'll say enable configuration, and I will hit enter. Hopefully it will do something here. If you see the alert log, it may set that log archive dest to see log archive trace. Configurations is enabled. Show configuration. Purpose. These are the default values of your configuration, which says the fast start failover threshold. If server is not responsive for 30 seconds, it will start the failover. Okay, so there are a few other things which is mentioned here. Now let me check whether that log archive dest2 is set now, because I have removed it. So parameter log archive. See this value. This is set by DGMGRL just before I reset it. Now we have DGMGRL configured. We have stand primary.
So it does everything automatically, which we did.
Yeah, right. It does everything automatically. You don't have to give these many parameters when you're building a normal standby. Okay,
Yeah,
even if you don't have to add online, I mean standby log files in both system. But when you are going for HA configuration, right, you have to do all the steps which I mentioned listed out here.
Hey Raju, this is Charan.
Yeah, Charan, tell me.
Hey Raju, this is the maximum performance or maximum protection?
Okay, good point.
Based on that also we will change the async that one. Right?
Yeah, currently it is set to max performance. So basically I'll tell you what is the difference in max performance and max availability. If you see here, the configuration mode is max performance. So when you set your protection mode to max performance, it primary you can bring it up even if your standby server is not accessible. But if you set protection mode to max availability, in that case it is mandatory to have at least one standby server in order to bring up the primary. So if your standby server is not up, you won't be able to start you won't be able to open your primary database. Okay, I'm going to change it to max availability in order to perform that failover and switch over thing. Okay, so next thing is I'm gonna see here what are the properties of the DB which I added, PRD and PRDDG / Oracle. I'll say show database verbose PRD, my primary database configuration. So if you see here log XPT, right, it is set to async. Okay, so for max performance, you can say for HA system, it's better to set it to sync. So this is the command, okay, which says change this for PRD database to sync. I'll copy this and I'll paste it here. Now when I'll trigger this command again, show database PRDDG, it will show it is set to sync. Another thing is standby file management. Okay, sometimes you will see it is set to manual. If it is manual and you are trying to add any data file in primary, it will not get added to the standby. So manually you will have to add another data file. But if you set it to auto, if you are adding any data file in primary, the data file, it will add same data file in a standby also. So it's better always to keep this in auto mode. So first configuration I saw and everything looks good to me. Now I will check the database configuration of second database, that is PRDDG. Here also it says async, so I will change it to sync. When I'm executing command here, basically it is changing it here in this database because both are connected now. Now all others looks good. Now let's see the configuration. Show configuration verbose. It says success, so both are added now. Next thing is about this protection mode. Okay, so if I'll go to the database and right now if I'll check the protection mode of my primary database, protection mode from $, database, and it says it is in max performance. What I will do, I'll say dgmg rl connect /oracle. I will change this protection mode to max availability. For that I have this edit configuration, set protection mode as max availability. Okay, dgmg command, I'll copy this, I'll come here, paste it here, and I'll say show configuration, and it says it's changed to max availability. Did it change in the database? It should have by the time, yeah. So it changed the protection mode of the database. So whatever you do in the dgmgrl, actually it's changing whatever command you are triggering in dgmgrl, it is executing some SQL statement in your database to change the properties. This you can do, this part you can do even with the alter systems, alter database set standby to max availability in your SQL prompt.
Okay.
Now so our complete configuration is ready. Okay, now it's time to set up our observer server, this third server. By the way, everything I changed, I have did it in red one, right? I mean in primary. So if you go to a standby server and then go to dgmgrl connect /oracle and you execute this command, you will see same configuration here because both are connected now.
Yeah.
Okay, so next is this green one. Okay, so this is our third server. It is my server 3. Hostname -f. This is my server 3. Here I have installed Oracle Client 12.102. Okay, and I'm gonna create a wallet. Okay, so till here I'll go here. Till here it is done. Okay. One more thing it says is add the DB to the clusterware services in SRVCTL. Okay, why do we need this? Because when switchover failover happens, right, dgmgrl invokes SRVCTL to start and stop your database. Okay, so it's not going to the SQL prompt. It is invoking SRVCTL command. So I will make sure that SRVCTL, our database has been added to SRVCTL. So I'll say SRVCTL config database -d PRD, and it says, yeah, we have this configuration here regarding PRD. Let me check in standby SRVCTL config database -d PRDDG, and it says it's not there. So we'll have to add it here. For that, we have command. This long command which I prepared it here. So it says SRVCTL add the database with the DB name as PRDDG, and we need this. Let's try it. Then instance name as PRDDG. Role is physical standby, Oracle home, and startup option should be mount because we are maintaining it as physical standby. So it should go to mount mode. SP file location and the disk groups. Copy this, come here and paste it here. Now you check if you have this configuration. So it's there. Now what I will do, I will try to stop before I do this. Now our database is getting managed by clusterware services. Okay, so we are good. Next thing is adding this service. What is this service? I'll let you know later. So next step is to setting up the observer server. So first is to install Debian Oracle client or anything. So I have already installed it here in the server. And next thing is to define our path where it will keep the wallet file, and the wallet file will be having information about your DB credentials. So 121.02, I think network admin. I'll go here. I'll open SQLnet.ora. SQLnet.ora. I will add this entry here saying wallet location is this. I will save it. Then next thing is to enable the connectivity, there should be TNS string, right? Connection string. So these entries, I'm going to add it to tnsnames.ora. So TNS names, we have it already here. I'll open this, insert, and we have already I have already this PRD and PRDDG. And third one, you can just ignore it for the time. Now if I give DNS ping from third server to my server 1 PRD, let's see if it is pinging. And it worked 10 seconds. We'll ping the second server and see from this third server it is pinging, and it pinged to my server too. So it worked. So DNS ping is working. Now next thing is to create a wallet using MKStore. So this is the main most important task, how we are storing the credentials. So I'll say MKStore. This is the wallet file location. So if you just copy this command, right, MKStore, if you don't know how to create it, just hit enter here and it will give you the options. So it says use MKStore -WRL, and there's use these many options, whatever you want. So that is what I did. MKStore -WRL and this wallet location, and I'll say create. So I'll hit enter and it says enter password. So password I'm giving DEER.123 DEER.123. Done. So the wallet has been created. Now we have to store the credentials of both the database. So I'll say create credential for PRD database. User will be sys and the password is Oracle. I'll hit enter. It will ask for my wallet password. Just now I set it, that is DEER.123, and then hit enter. It's added. Next credential is for PRDDG, same password is same, DEER.123, and then done. It's added. Now I'll say list the credential which I have added it just now, DEER.123. So it says two database, two credentials we have stored it. One is for PRD for sys user and PRDDG, that is also for sys user. Now we'll check the connectivity, whether we are able to connect to the from this server to our primary and standby. So I'll say DGMGRL. I will say connect / I'm not mentioning here DB name, username and password. Okay, and I'll say because it has been already added under the file. Okay, so I'll say connect / to PRD and just hit enter, and it's connected. I'll try to connect it to our second instance, PRDDG, and there also it was connected. Now at the same time I'll come to my primary instance. I'll go to DGMGRL sys/Oracle show configuration verbose. Here we have fast start failover is disabled. To enable this, I will say enable fast start failover. and it is doing something in the background, and it is done. Now if I'll say show configurations, it says warning, which means it says observer. So there is no observer here to monitor this. Okay, so what I will do is I will start the observer here. I'll say dgmgrl connect /@prd and hit enter, and I'll say start observer, and I'll hit enter here. Okay, so let's
Yes. Okay.
You missed yes.
it says observer started. Now we'll check the same whether now observer is showing here. You see my server 3, it's saying okay, there is this observer server called my server 3 which is monitoring your both the database.
Okay.
So here we are done. So we created a HS system with observer server. So in case anything happens to the primary, that I'll demonstrate here. This is my primary. I'll check the status of switchover, whether we are able to perform switchover. Currently my red one is primary. I'll say validate database PRDDG and hit enter. When you trigger here, it will dump something here, and it says switchover verification, switchover verify complete. Okay, and it says switchover target has no standby database defined in log archive dest n parameter. If switchover happens, it target is converted to a target. If the switchover target is converted to a physical primary database, the new primary database will not be protected. Okay, so it basically it is asking me to set this log archive dest2 parameter in standby also. Okay, but I don't think it is mandatory. So for the timing, what I will do is let's set that. I'll go to my standby and I'll say show parameter log archive dest2. Yeah, this is not set. So what I'll do, let's set it. I have the command here, right? Where it went? This command. So I'll just copy this. I'll paste it here and done. It's set. Now what I will do again, I'll execute this while get command and let's see. By the way, here if you see, we got the output ready for switchover. Yes. Ready for failover. Yes. So which means we are good in terms of switchover and failover. This is just a warning. Okay. So warning is something like it's fine until there is a failure. Now I'll execute the same command and see, and this time it says switchover and verify both are completed. This warning and all, nothing came, but that is not mandatory. Now I will change the role. This is last step we are going to do. This is standby, and this is my primary. Can I execute my SQL statement here? Select name open mode from database, role from $v database, unrecognized. No issues. So this is primary, and the second one is standby. I don't know whether my MRP is running, but I think it is running.
Yeah, MRP running or no?
Yeah, MRP is running. That is why we did not get any error here. It is in sync. So it's ready now to perform a switchover. What I will do is I will say, where is my other blue screen? This one. Switch user Oracle cd/Oracle. I'll just tail the alert log. Select star from $v diag underscore info. tail-f alert log. Oh, now we are ready. So the red one is primary and the blue one is standby. If why we are doing this, basically when you have any memory uplift or OS patching in the red one, right, you can make this as a primary and you can make this as a standby, shut down the standby and do all your activity and bring it up, and then again switch over back to this and make this primary. So that is called rolling maintenance in HS system without a downtime. What I was doing now. So okay, now I'll perform the switch over. Here I'll come out, I'll say dgmgrl connect sys/ Oracle is the password. So configuration goes, and PRD is primary and PRD-DG is standby, and I'll say switch over to PRD-DG and hit enter. I have this both the log files left and right. So basically I'm monitoring here for Alter Database open. And at the same time we can check this out with Oracle customer restarting the PRD database. This went into mount mode. RFS started here. So looks like this becomes standby, red one. And here Alter Database open got executed and it failed also, looks like. Or what? Okay, we can just check it in another session. I will connect here. Till this time it was physical standby, but now if everything is successful, this will be primary. And here it says switchover succeeded. New primary is PRD-DG. If I'll run this show configuration command, now you will see PRD-DG become primary and the PRD become physical standby. And the configuration has no error, which means both are successful. I mean, all the operations were successful in conversion. Now, what is that HA thing which I was talking about? Okay, to connect to a normal database, right? I mean, to connect, 1 second. This red one. What the timing? Can I cancel it? I can't. Oracle. Normally, application connect to a database through kind of DNS string PRD. This connection string, where it will be having one server name, one port number, and the service name. Okay, but to connect to a HA system where any one of them can be primary, I mean, at any given point of time, maybe this is primary and this is primary. Okay, so for that we have PRD_HA. For that you'll have to use this connection string. Basically you will be giving to application team to disconnect. You will ask them to connect through using this connection string, which says my server 1 to port 1521, also my server 2 to port 1521, and load balance is equal to yes. Okay, here it says service name is equal to PRD. Do we have that service already in this database? Let me check this out. Okay, I'll go to the red one, I'll come out, I'll go to the show, 1 second, lsnrctl status. Oh, by the way, this is standby red one, right? So I'll not be checking that. I'll check here lsnrctl status. If you see here, I don't have that service. Okay, none of the service got PRD_HA service is not registered with the listener, and if a service is not registered with the listener, you won't be able to connect to the database. So why it did not? Because we don't have the service. We did not created the service itself. So when you say a service CTL config database -d PRD-DG and hit enter, See here services, there are nothing. So we have one command called srvctl add service hyphen s prd underscore ha. You have to mention the db name also. Prd hyphen db is equal to prddg. Hit enter, and then when you give prddg, it says prd underscore ha has been registered. Same service name you'll have to add it in first server also. So same command I'll add it, trigger it here. I'll remove the dg part, and done, it's added. Now I'll check it out whether it got added in primary. I mean in the new standby. Here we have it. Yeah.
You have already entered that entry in tns.ora, right? Or prdha.
No. Ignore that. You saw this in here, right? In
Yeah.
observer server.
Yeah,
This is for testing. Okay. You don't have to add this TNS entry in your database server. Basically, this TNS entry you have to give it to other those guys.
Okay, that user application.
The user application. Why I copied it here, because I wanted to use my observer server as application server. I can connect it, right? I'll say SQL plus / no log, and I'll connect. Say suppose. Do we have? Yeah, I have one test user in the database. Let me try connecting to that. I will say connect to test user, and the password is test @prddg. I'm connecting to prddg because I know that prddg is primary, and I'll hit enter. I'm able to connect. But when you give the static connection, right, to application team, they will always try to connect to the red one because they were thinking that red one is the primary, and they will get error saying Oracle initialization is in progress. So now to overcome this problem, we added this entry where we have both the servers, right, and it will check this prd underscore ha where actually it is running. It will run always in the primary server. When you perform switchover failover, right, this service will be running only in the primary server. Doesn't matter whether my server 1 is primary or my server 2. So just now I added that, in both these servers, right, but I haven't started the service. Okay, so let's see if we are able to connect. I'll say okay, connect to prd underscore ha and hit enter. It says listener doesn't know the Oracle requested. Right. Yeah, that's correct, because just before I showed you guys here when I triggered lsnrctl status, I did not see any service registered called prd underscore ha. Just now I added this prd underscore ha service, and let me start this now. I will say srvctl start service -s prd underscore ha. I am starting it in prddg because this is primary now. Okay, it says -db is missing. I'll say -db space prddg. I started it. I'll check the status of it. Status. Is it started? Now it says it's running. If it is running, it should have registered with the listener. And I'll say, you see this prd underscore hs, the service got registered, and it's ready for the connection. Now the same command which I triggered here, right? If I'll trigger and say connect, it connected. Even now, if I'll perform switchover and the red one become primary, and I'll hit this command, it will always connect because it is checking for the prd underscore hs service, and it will find that okay, prd underscore ha is running in the red one, so this is primary, and it will redirect the connection to red one.
Okay, so prd dot underscore ha we will give to users or application guys. So
yeah, prd underscore ha. No. There is some confusion. Okay, one second. Let me tell you what is the confusion. TNS enter. In TNS names.ora, the prd underscore ha, I have given that name.
Yeah, right.
Okay, the main content is this one. So even if you got it right, so you can change this. You can make it as ha or prd ha 1 2 whatever, because this is the naming convention which defines this entire value.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah, got it. So while adding the service, right, you make sure you give the same name in TNS and the service which you are adding to a service detail. So these are the name which you have given. It's not mandatory to give PRD only, but for convenient, we are giving PRD so that it represents the PRD service name or PRD database only.
Okay.
And by the way, you can connect if you give this description right up from here to here, you can even connect, for example, TNS ping px prd underscore ha if I'll give. So you are getting this connection, right? What I is what I will do is I will connect to test at the rate. This time I'll say use this connection. I'll not give any short name. I'll give complete the destination, right? And I'll say okay, connect. Let's connect and see if we are able to connect. And hit enter. Yeah, it's connected. So basically this is your given name to represent all
Okay, got it.
short form. So with this we are done. Now what I will do is let me connect this session. Okay, I will connect to this. While I'm connecting to the database, what I will do, select start from tab, this command will trigger. Okay, so there is a table here in this test user. I will do a switchover now and let's see what happens to the connection. This is the final thing which I'm showing you for switchover and failover. By the way, before I do anything, I'll check the status of status service service hyphen s prd underscore ha hyphen db is equal to prd. Definitely it will not be running because this is not the primary, right? This is standby red one now. And the same thing if you check it in prd dj, this is primary, that's why this service will be running here. To verify, select name, open mode, database role from $, database. Yeah, this is primary, and last thing is this is standby. Okay, now I will perform a switchover. Let's perform a failover instead. What I will do, I will shut down the server abruptly. This is my primary and database connection. Database connection is to this server, right? I will shut down this server directly, init, and meanwhile I'll check my log also. I'll give init 0, which will shut down my server. My primary server is gone now. Immediately the red one, this red server, it says there is some network disconnect with the primary server. At the same time, server the decision who will take whether to perform switchover or not is this third server. It will wait for 30 seconds. Just before I showed you something called, okay, fast start failover threshold is 30 seconds. It will wait for 30 seconds. Basically this green one will wait for 30 seconds to come up the primary is reachable again or not. So let's wait for 30 seconds and see whether it is saying okay, let's start the failover, because primary is now no more accessible. You see, after this, after 30 seconds, immediately it recognized that okay, initiating the fast start failover. This green was telling, observer server is telling okay, let's initiate the fast start failover because in 30 seconds primary did not come up. At the same time, what is happening to my connection, application connection here? It's not connected. It says there is some issue, but for how long? Oracle not connected, Oracle not connected. This is my own system, so it's taking time. Okay, but if it is your server, right, it will be done within within a minute, and not even that. So failover would have succeeded by now. I don't know where we can see. Can we see here? It says new connection is prd, but why we are not able to connect? That's the one problem. Oracle AKNB. Before I connect, let me see whether what is the status of HA service, whether it came up or not. Exit. SysDBA role definitely would have changed to primary. That's fine. I wanted to check whether this part is done. You see this? Now, since the red one is primary, PRD HA is what happened?
It runs on primary.
Yeah, so it always runs on primary. Sorry. This is a client, not database, so it will not connect. So I will say connect to test @PRD. Oh, no. Not PRD, sorry, HA. Connect test to PRD underscore HA, and it got connected. Now, just now we saw that connection got terminated, right? Then how come application they are not facing issue or something? Because the current session definitely will get hung and will be terminated. But whenever any application connects to the database, they are using something called connection pooling.
Okay.
Okay, so connection pulley is something they will be having. I am not able to recall that dedicated word. What is that? So they will dispatchers. Okay, there will be so many dispatchers. Dispatchers are nothing but channels used to connect from application to the database. So if you have 5 dispatchers from your application level, which is connected to the database, which means 5 channels are connected to your database always. Okay, so if any one of them got disconnected, okay, or because of something got it disconnects, it will reconnect it again. So there is one parameter called minimum number of dispatchers and maximum number of dispatchers. Okay, so whenever application it executes like select name from $v database, for example, any information it's tried connect retrieve from the database, what it has to do, it has to connect, right? It has to go to connect sys/oracle and then execute this command. So it takes up time. That is why dispatcher concept came. So always you will be having parallel connections from the application to the database. So kind of this is like 5 connections always will be there if you set to minimum 5 to the DB part. Okay, so even if one got terminated and an application user trying to access some data, okay, so it will go through one channel which is already connected.
No.
And it will retrieve the information, and again it went idle. So that's why you will see always some sessions, inactive session, application sessions to connect it to your database. If you're not seeing any inactive connections, which means they are not using the dispatchers. So in real time, when they try to retrieve data, it creates that session to the database and then it retrieves the information. But that takes time. But maximum we are using dispatchers.
Okay.
Okay, so that is why if a session got terminated here, right? You saw that we are not able to execute any command and it failed that session and we'll have to reconnect it. That part in application is automatically done by dispatchers. So that is why they are not facing any issue.
Okay.
And that will be done in a very short period of time, that kind of 30 seconds or something. And your connections will be moved from the primary to standby or to the new primary. So that's all, it's done. Now what happened to my second server? I brought it down. What if I'll bring it up again? This was primary and I shut it down. Now when it will come up again, right? So this is the guy. Okay, this green one. It will notice that, okay, now secondary server is another server is available, and the primary server this red one become primary already. Okay, so it will not let the other system to be a primary again. Okay, it will force the new my server to become a standby, and everything will be done by this guy. Let it come and we'll see whether it is happening. I think it would have come. Let me restart my session and see. Okay, it came. I'll say root oracle user oracle. I am interested in what's happening in alert log. By the time it would have started also, I guess. Tail-s. Hello. Okay, I don't know what happened to it. So let me connect to the database and see that. Also 6 ps-ef grep pmon. Oh, even ASM also did not come up right now. My system is quite. RAKND plus ASM CRS status HAS. Check the checks. By the way, today's session is done. So we had this much only. Okay. Keep it here. Ja. Okay, finally it came online. PS-ef get pmon. Now within 2-3 minutes ASM will come up. Online offline cleaning state, starting state. Now pmon should be up. Okay, ASM still coming up. It says starting. At the same time, I will tell the alert log also on the right side because I wanted to see what's happening here. Okay, looks like something is happening in the database. And is something happening in the? Nothing is happening. So it's coming up. DB is coming up now. It was primary when I shut it down, and it will try to come up in primary. See database, alter database open, data gets initialization. Something is happening now.
Mount.
Verify database role primary, and then it says data got determined that the failover occurred. This is no longer a primary database, and it will terminate, shut down the database. See here, it says reinstate the database PRTDG. And now if you see the RFS process, everything was coming up here, right? So which means this becomes standby. And
Okay, Raju.
What
if that observer server got shut down? Means will it come like, will it be standby or primary? Mean how it will?
Okay, if observer is not there to monitor this, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay, so even if it is not there, okay, that the second node will not be a primary because DGMGRL knows.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so DGMGRL knows that one is already primary. It will not convert it into standby, but it will not let your database to come in open mode. It will crash. Okay, for that purpose, what did we do? We in this server I have installed a script. Okay, basically it in every 1 minute, I mean every minute it checks for this
Your status of the
whether it checks whether observer is started or not. If it is not started, okay, it will start the observer.
okay.
Okay, so it's like if you go through the script, this is nothing but setting up the environment. If it says check for this ps-ef grep process. Okay, dgmgrl connect /oracle@brd. What I will do is I will stop the observer. Done. I have stopped it. Now there won't be any process running now. Already there is no process because we started it manually from the dgmgrl. What I will do, I'll uncomment this. For the next 1 minute, oh my god, it just came to 1. So within a minute, once it goes to 39, it will check whether the process is running or not. If I'll go by the time in the any of the primary instance and I'll say dgmgrl connect /show configuration verbose. Okay, so fast start failover, we enabled it, but it is not monitored by observer, so that's why it's throwing error. Okay, so now wait for a minute and we'll see what happens here. Okay, so after a minute, what is the time? 46 in 15 seconds. In 6 seconds. In 1 second. This process started and this is success.